Hey guys, so I thought I would do a get ready with me slash sweat-proof makeup slash new makeup slash whatever video with you today. So it is Saturday, it's around 1 o'clock. I just got done running and doing a bunch of stuff this morning. Like, I actually was really active this morning. I went and woke up at 7:30 to do a girl's makeup for a wedding. I went to the farmer's market with my husband. I came back, I went for a almost 5-mile run, and I've showered, and now I am getting ready for the day, so to speak. It's been a while since I've done my makeup. I don't tend to wear makeup a lot during the summer. I've said this before, but when I do, I want it to be like sweat proof and all of that. So I thought I would just do kind of a summer, not makeup because I already did that video with the like no makeup look, but just like a summer what I would wear if I'm wearing a full face. A lot of you guys asked for like a sweat proof type makeup thing, and so that's kind of what I'm doing, like how I stay matte during the summer, we'll call it that. This is like a legit get ready with me. John's in the background. Wave hi, John. He's playing his video games and the kids are running around like crazy kids, so if you hear screaming or something, yeah, that's just my life. That's just getting ready with Kelly. Also, I'm cooking rice currently in the rice cooker, so once that is done, I will be interrupting this video to eat lunch because I am hungry, and that's about that. So starting off, I need to go wet my beauty blender, I just realized. Yeah. Sometimes I wish we had a sink in our laundry room slash office so that I could wet my beauty blender without having to get up. I'm so lazy. Starting off to stay like ultra matte today, I'm going to use my oily skin HydraGenius L'Oreal moisturizer. I love this stuff. I've put a dent in it. Like, I love this stuff. If I know I'm going to be sweating or what have you, this stuff is amazing. Then after that, I'm going to take my Makeup Forever Step 1 Skin Equalizer. I need to actually replace this. It's almost gone. I've had this for, I want to say, the last year, so a little bit goes a long way with this stuff. And I don't tend to use it during the winter just because I'm a little bit dry in the winter, but during the summer it's definitely a must-have. And I'm just going to apply that to my areas that I get oily. So just my T-zone, really. Actually, it's more of like an I-zone because it goes like this, this, and this. Yeah. Sorry about the light. I don't really want to turn my diva light on because I don't want to heat up this room more than I have to. It's actually really nice out today. There's a nice breeze and everything, but yeah. Also, I really enjoy natural light versus artificial because then you guys can actually see like every single one of my flaws in my face. Like sometimes I feel like I watch beauty videos and I get a little bit overwhelmed because everyone looks so flawless, and I have to remind myself that it's like there are thousands of dollars worth of lighting that helps with that. I mean, I'm not saying they're not flawless, but a lot of times lighting helps, trust me, and same with lenses. Next, I'm going to take the Urban Decay All Nighter Waterproof Longwear Liquid Foundation. This is in the shade 7.0. I've talked about this a few times in my first impressions video of it, and then also my favorites. I believe I had this in my favorites video. If not, I should have. I'm pretty sure I did. I mentioned that this stuff is super drying, however, like it is super duper matte. So if you have dry skin, I don't necessarily think I would suggest this for you just because it does cling on to dry spots. It's summer though. I'm really oily. I don't have any dry spots, so it's perfect for me. Also, it oxidizes on the face. So in other words, it probably turns, I would say, almost a half shade to not a full shade, but pretty much like a half shade to a little bit more than a half shade darker on your face if after you let it sit for a few minutes. So I would highly suggest going, like if you have to go lighter, like if you can't find that perfect match for you, because it is really hard to find your perfect match, I would go lighter versus darker. But I like to just squirt this on the back of my hand, and this stuff dries super duper fast, so you have to work really fast with it. So what I've noticed is that it's better for me to work on part of my face at a time instead of just dotting all of the foundation all over my face and then pressing it in with my beauty blender. It works better if I'm super fast with it and doing like one section at a time. So that is what I'm going to do right now. And I would suggest applying this with a beauty blender just because it is so drying and it dries so fast, and I think the beauty blender helps move it around a little bit better. That's just my personal opinion. And you want to be very, very like persistent around your nose, because the only flaw that I found with this foundation, and I find with most full coverage foundations, especially matte ones, is that it sometimes can get cakey around the nostrils. So you really want to pay close attention to around that area. But this is like one of the lightest full coverage foundations I've ever tried, and I love it. Like, you guys know I'm not a full coverage type of person, But this stuff is actually really, really nice and lightweight. It doesn't make me feel like I am wearing 5 pounds of makeup. Like, it's already oxidizing on my hand. Can you see that? Out of the pump. This is definitely a foundation that I would suggest trying on in the store and getting a sample of in a bunch of different shades before purchasing. I also don't think you should order it online, as much as like that's easier. I mean, I had to swatch this thing like crazy in the store at Sephora before I could tell Urban Decay like what shade I actually was. Even then it was really hard. I landed on 3 different shades. I think 6.5, 7.0, and 7.5. And luckily the 7.0 matches pretty well. Just be careful when it comes to shade matching, because this stuff is tricky. So now that that is done, usually I take a minute or 2 to just let it oxidize on my face before I move on to the rest of my face. So I'm gonna go real quick and get John's lunch and my lunch put together. And yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Smells good.
Thanks, I microwaved it myself. Alright, so today's lunch, I don't know if you can see that, is Penang curry on rice. These are those Tasty Bites, like microwavable packets. They're so good, and I got it from Costco. Usually we got the, I think it was like the tiki masala, or what did we used to get, babe?
It was like a bean thing.
Yeah, it was really good. Madres. Something Madres. So I'm gonna eat lunch real quick. This is normally really what we would usually do, is kind of eat real quick late in the day, because I think me and John just always forget to eat. At least I forget to eat. Alright, next I'm going to move on to concealer. I'm going to use the Naked Skin Urban Decay Concealer. This is the Weightless Complete Coverage Concealer, light diffusing and peptide infused, paraben free, blah blah blah. And I'm just going to bounce that in with my beauty blender. Now that we're done with that, I'm going to take my Kat Von D setting powder. This is just a translucent powder. I have actually been using the Urban Decay Velvetizer stuff that they sent. This is a mix-in that you put in with your foundation to kind of make it more full coverage and more matte. It's really nice. But I haven't actually been using it for that. I use this with my Bare Minerals Complexion Rescue. I use it on top as a setting. Like, I will powder the entire part of my face after I put my Bare Minerals on, just because it helps mattify that, because the Bare Minerals Complexion Rescue is not a matte anything. It's a, as you guys know, like a tinted moisturizer. So this has actually been nice with that, but if I use it with this, it's a little bit too dry and it looks too cakey. So for this foundation, I just like to use my Kat Von D translucent powder. So what I will do is I will just take a fluffy brush. This is just a flower fluffy brush, and I will dab it into the pot and then kind of dab off the excess in the lid. And I haven't actually been baking as much as I used to. Instead, what I'll do is I'll take the most of it and then I will just kind of pat and sweep it under the eye, kind of leaving a little bit of it behind. Can you see that? Yeah. And like that. So the majority of the powder is underneath my eye, and then I will just lightly take the translucent powder all the way around my face, just to kind of soak up any excess oils. And just very lightly I am pressing this and smoothing it in. I think this is the first time I filmed the Get Ready With Me with you in the background, John.
Am I really in the background?
I mean, they can see your head. Moving on from here, we are going to do my eyebrows, because that's usually what I do next, is my eyebrows. Where is my eyebrow thingy? I like to use the Anastasia Dip Brow. This is in the color dark brown. I don't like to use powder when I know I'm going to be sweating a bunch, because when I sweat a bunch, I tend to just, you know, like wipe my face without thinking, and the dip brow stays in place better than powders do. Sometimes I do like to use a powder. The last few videos I've actually used eyeshadow powder to do my brows, but the dip brow stays in place really, really well through sweat. So really quickly, I'm going to take a e.l.f. angled brush. I think this is actually supposed to be for eyeliner, but it's a small angled brush, and I'm going to use this to fill in my eyebrows real quick. The clicky clicky of your keyboard is giving me tingles in my head.
Just your head.
No, it's getting me going other places, John. You know me. Alright, not gonna lie, not my best eyebrow day, but if I keep messing with it, then I'm gonna look like Bert or Can't talk. I'm gonna look like Bert or Bert
and Ernie.
or Ernie if I keep
It's
messing
and.
with it.
Bert and Ernie.
No, but I'm gonna look like Bert or Ernie, one or the other. I can't look like both. I'm gonna cut out the under eye real quick. Try to fix some of this mess that you see. And then we have the base done. Now, moving on, we're going to move on to bronzer. We're going to bronze up my face. Bronze it up. I'm going to take my IT Cosmetics Fluffy Brush, and then I'm also going to take the Tarte Park Avenue Princess Bronzer. This is actually a waterproof bronzer, and I really, really like it. I'm not going to lie, I like it. There's a little bit of shimmer to it, though, so be careful. This is actually a sample size that I got in my... Which bag did I get this in? My Ipsy? I either got it in my Ipsy bag or I got it in my Sephora bag. I can't remember. We're just gonna bronze up the face. I don't like to use a shimmer to contour my nose for obvious reasons, because you don't want your nose to look like shimmery on the outside. You just want it to look shimmery down the middle when you highlight it. So I like to use a matte bronzer like this, and this has just been my favorite one just for my nose. Nowhere else, just my nose for some reason. And then in between, I like to continue eating my lunch. Let's move on to eyes. Yay, eyes! I don't really have a specific eyeshadow that I use for like sweatier days. My eyes don't really ever sweat, if that makes sense. The only difference I do with like sweaty or when I know I'm going to be out in a lot of heat or active, the only difference I do with my eyeshadow is that I actually use an eyeshadow primer, which I don't normally use. As you guys know, I don't usually ever prime my eyes, and I like to use the Urban Decay Eyeshadow Primer Potion. This is the anti-aging version because y'all know I'm aging and I'd like to be anti-aging as much as possible. I like to take a little bit of this on my ring finger, and then I will just apply that on both of my eyes, and this just helps the longevity of my eyeshadow. So moving on to eyeshadow, I'm going to use two different palettes. I'm going to use my Z palette that has all of my Makeup Geek eyeshadows in it. Like every single one of these things are Makeup Geek. And then I'm also going to use my It's Judy's Time palette because I haven't used this palette in a while and I really, really like it. It's got some beautiful matte colors in it. I kind of want to do like a shimmery slash matte look today. So I'm going to use Shimma Shimma because I used it on this girl earlier today for her wedding makeup and it was gorgeous. I forgot how beautiful it was. So I want to use that, but I want to use these mattes because these mattes are just gorgeous. So I'm going to take a flat shader brush real quick and I'm going to put down a base, and I'm going to use this Makeup Geek color in Vanilla Bean, and I'm going to put that down as my base all over my eye. Vanilla Bean actually has a little bit of shimmer to it, but that's okay. It's not a glaring amount of shimmer, so it'll work fine for what I need it to. And then I'm going to go in here and I'm going to take Good Morning and a fluffy blending brush. I don't know what these are called. It's just my, this is a Sigma Blending E25 brush. And I'm just going to go in and on windshield wiper motions with a little bit of a, I don't know what I'm doing, circular motion. I'm going to just work that into where my crease would be to add some definition. This brush I mentioned in my favorites video last 2 months ago. It's got a lot of different dupes out there for it. You can get a MAC 217 as the same brush. That's more expensive. Morphe's got the M433 and that's the cheapest out of all of them, and that's actually the brush that I use the most. I just didn't grab it for some reason because they all look exactly alike. And then after that, I have that down, I'm going to take a clean brush. This is the Morphe M433. See, they look exactly alike. Then I'm going to dip that into Honey Bear, and then I'm going to deepen up the outer V area, like so. I'm doing kind of a brown look for the fact that I'm wearing a black top, but I don't really care. I don't really care. And then I'm going to go back with that flat shader brush that I used earlier and to lay down Vanilla Bean, and I'm going to use my MAC Prep and Prime spray, and I'm just going to wet my brush like so, and then I'm going to dip it into Shimma Shimma, which is this one right here. It's been very well loved. I just stopped using it for some reason. I don't know why. And I'm going to place that all over where my lid would be if I had creases. And then I'm going to go back with my brush and go back into Honey Bear and just kind of work it up. Make sure everything's blended. I kind of want to deepen out this look a little bit, so I'm going to take this Makeup Geek Outer V brush and I'm going to use the color Tutu. I don't know if that's it. I'm going to use this color. I don't know what this color is. I don't know what this color is right here. I can't tell which one's supposed to be which, or like reversed, or I don't know. I have a really hard time with colors when they're on the back of the palette. Work that into the outer V and just deepen up everything involved. Then moving on, I'm going to take this Morphe M205. It's just kind of like a flat brush, but it's like a skinnier flat brush. It's not like so wide. I don't know, I like to call them like little detailing brushes. And I'm going to take MAC's Rice Paper. This is like my standard under eye highlighter, and I'm going to take this under my brow and just highlight my brow bone with it. See? Perfect. Alright, now moving on to the fun part, I say very sarcastically, I'm going to do my eyeliner. So I'm going to grab my Kat Von D liquid liner. Oh, maybe not. And then I'm going to really quickly do some wings on my eyes. You guys already know how I do this if you saw that tutorial. After that's done, I'm going to set my eyeliner with my Naked Basics palette. I'm going to use that black, I think this is the color Crave, and a small flat brush tool, and I'm just going to set that so it doesn't budge, because I got monolids, and the second I open my eyes, stuff gets squished. And not in a good way. I'm going to use this Waterproof Better Than Sex mascara because this is a waterproof kind of video. So yeah, and I'm just going to coat my lashes about 1,000 bajillion times because that's my MO. And then I'll throw on some false lashes just because I'm feeling a little bit fancy today. Alright guys, lashes are on. I'm going to pick out a blush to put on my face. I'm going to stick to my tried and true Infatuation by Makeup Geek as well. I've been using this like non-stop this summer. I mentioned this in my favorites as well. For my highlight, I'm going to use two different things. I'm going to use the IT Cosmetics In Your Glow, Confidence in Your Glow thingy palette. I'm also going to use my Kevyn Aucoin Starlight highlighter as well. First, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put down the IT Cosmetics one. I'm just going to grab the lightest part of the pink shade, and I'm going to put it on the tops of my cheeks. And then to be just a little bit extra, I'm going to take my Starlight and put that on top. And I'm also going to take Starlight and I'm going to put it down the center of my nose. Did you guys just see that? I totally just opened this in one clean swipe. Oh my gosh. If you saw my unbagging of the Ipsy Glam Bag and the Sephora bag, you know what that meant to me. I'm going to take my lip crayon. This is the NYX or NYX color in Mauve. This is a really pretty, just natural color. And I'm just going to draw in my lips. It's just a really nice, natural, better than your lips color. Then I just leave it like that because it wears really nicely down, and it's very low maintenance in wearing, and that's really, really good when you're trying to go for a full face but a low maintenance full face, if that makes any sense. So that is all the makeup I put on my face that's kind of like stays put, and to finish it off and to kind of give it that lasting like for the rest of the day, I like to spray my face with the Skindinavia makeup finishing spray, and this is the bridal version. I fell in love with this stuff years ago, and it's been like my go-to setting spray ever since. And it's got a super fine mist, which I really, really like, and it really just locks in all of your makeup. So this is what the finished look looks like. I just absolutely, absolutely love this foundation. Like, I can't talk about it enough. I will again remind you, it does get a little bit cakey around the nose, and it does start separating on the nose if you're not careful to use the right primer. But if you pay close attention to your nose area and you really set it really well, and you don't crinkle your face while you're setting it, and you're just very aware of your nose area, it works perfectly fine. At least it does for me. Everybody's got different skin types, everybody's got different amount of pores on their nose. Like, there's just all different factors of why a foundation can work for one person and not work really well for another. So just keep that in mind when you watch videos like this that suggest different things, or watch this video in general. But for me, the All Nighter foundation is just my A1 #1 full coverage foundation. Like, when I want to look flawless and have a full coverage, that is my go-to, only because it's just so lightweight and it just feels really good on my skin. I don't have any issues with it. So that is it. I hope you guys enjoyed my get ready with me. I'm still eating my lunch over here as well. That's my life, guys. Constantly trying to multitask. Like I mentioned, I will leave all the products that I used down below if you are interested. So that's about it. As always, please give this video a thumbs up if you like videos like this. Subscribe if you want to see more. I upload new stuff every 2 to 3 times a week, sometimes more, about anything and everything. I'm talking everything. I actually have a very TMI video coming up that I'm a little bit uncomfortable, like, I don't know. I'm still debating whether or not I should do it. It's a little bit out there. It's kind of along the lines of like my Diva Cup TMI, but I just really want to share the experience with you guys. So I might film that. But anyways, I upload about a lot of different things. So if you'd like to join the family and check out the craziness that goes on here, make sure to hit that subscribe button. And thank you guys for watching and taking the time to comment and just give me your feedback. I really appreciate it. And I just love you guys. So I will talk to you all in my next video. Bye.